Hey guys, what's going on? Coming at you with a Thursday morning video. Before I get into this video, I just want to really thank all the new subscribers. I think I've gained 50 subscribers in the past 2-3 weeks. I've been trying to be very consistent with this, kind of have a schedule now, so I feel like I should be posting daily videos. So to all those people that subscribed and all the likes and all that stuff I've been getting in my recent videos, it's much appreciated. Let's just keep the momentum going, and I'll keep sharing my thoughts on the market and what I'm buying, and just basically daily news on what's important in the stock market, in my opinion. So yesterday I did actually buy more PayPal. Ticker is PYPL. This is turning into a top 3 position of mine. I've been aggressively buying it since December of 2021. I've been a shareholder since 2019, so this is not a new stock I've been in. I'll get into the details a little bit, below in this video. So this is a stock I'm really bullish on in the long term. I did say in my previous videos, if it went under 105, I would buy. And I did. So I bought at 104.08. So the percentage buy of my portfolio in PayPal, so the percentage I bought yesterday was 5%. So that's a smaller buy, but this position's pretty well built out at this point. Just kind of nibbling at it. There's not crazy good news in the market. There's a lot of Fed rate hike uncertainty for next month. There's still the war going on with uncertainty. Inflation hit all-time highs. So there's a lot of uncertainty still. So I'm just, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. As a long-term investor, I don't mind this style of it, the style market, because the volatility gives you really good buying opportunities. PayPal last week went up to like 120 or 118, and it's back down to basically 105. And it's funny because I was actually talking to someone recently about it, and it was at like 112, then 115, then 118, then 120 last week. And we were actually joking because we're both PayPal shareholders, and we were saying there's no way this stock's going below 105 again. Like unless something really bad happens in the market. Nothing bad really happened, and it went under 105. So I was incorrect. I did not buy at 115. I didn't buy at 118. I didn't get in that FOMO cycle. So I was patient, and then I bought at 110. I made a video of that, and I just bought at 105. If it goes to 100, I'll probably buy heavier than this because I think the chances of it going to that are very low. But if it does, I'll buy most likely, depending on what's going on in the market. And if I do, I'll make a video. But yeah, so I bought yesterday at 104.08, which was in the beginning hours of the market yesterday. My cost base at one point was 190 and some change. I've driven it down to 146.72. So the 190 cost base, that was built in 2019. So, 2019 is when I started this position. 190 was actually coming out of the pandemic. I was buying pre-pandemic, and then when it went down, I was buying at like 180, 185 and drove it down to 190 coming out of the pandemic in 2021. No, 2020. Yeah, was it 20? Yeah, 2020 I started buying it under 190, and then anyways, I've been driving it down off 190 basically because I stopped buying it for over a year. The PayPal ran to like 170 or 180 at its highs during that crazy rally last year. I didn't take profits because I thought that was still cheap, kind of, so I didn't do anything. However, just massive buying opportunity. So the stock right now is at 105.20. So I bought, again, in the beginning of the day, it rallied up past 105, so it's going the right direction. So running my numbers, this stock is basically back at like 2019, even 2018 levels. So still long play for me. This is a multi-year hold. I still think even this stock at 200 is a good buy. I think this is like a good buy still at 200. So if it's at half the value of, I would still be buying technically if the market was like really hot and there was no good opportunities. I'd still be buying. I'd probably average cost up, to be honest. So this is a stock I really love. Super good balance sheet, double-digit growth, great management. It's gonna strive in the future. It's got really good companies partnered with it. It's just such a good stock to own. People are always going to be spending money in transactions, so it's not like really a commodity where it goes up and down and has it's good years and bad years. So this is a stock I really like. The management team's really their heads on straight. It's a great company. It's been public for a long time. It's just a good company. So the reason there was a massive pullback in this stock, which kind of correlates to the bank earnings that just came out, JP Morgan reported at the beginning of the bell yesterday, and the stock fell 3% even off that sell-off it's had leading up to its earnings. And I think investors were hesitant on consumer spending. Obviously, we had stimulus last year this time. That stopped. We're raising rates. In a normal market, that's usually good for banks. But in this case, if there's potential of, things going for the worst in the future, if nobody's willing to spend money, it doesn't, it's just going to halt the bank, like banks like transactions. They like high interest because they make more money. But if nobody's willing to spend money or doesn't have money or there's layoffs or something like that, it's bad. So there are talks about, that going down the road and people are just uncertain. So the stock sold off 3%. Revenue did decline 5% year over year. Doesn't really surprise me. We had 2 stimulus rounds year over year, I believe, because we had one this time last year. I think we had one in the summer or something like that. I don't know. We had 3 total, but anyways, we definitely had at least one. Maybe it was just one, but people last year, the vaccine was available. People were spending, going crazy. Everyone had the most money in their accounts as a whole last year. So people were just blowing through it. There was no credit card debt. Interest rates were so low. It was kind of just a perfect storm. So, revenue declined in this Q1, which doesn't really surprise me. To me, that's not a big deal. If you're a swing trader or a day trader, I can see why that matters. However, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, he said the consumer and the business, basically their balances are healthy right now. So that's a good sign. That's like a plus. That means people aren't really struggling. People are probably, as we're coming out of this pandemic, people are trying to spend, go on vacation, travel. I think this was more good than bad, to be honest. He even said he's optimistic short term. I don't think he wants to put his neck out there and do a long-term call on where he thinks the market's going, but at least short-term, I think the spring rolling into summer, there's going to be a lot of consumer spending. Obviously, airlines are super booked, cruise lines are super booked. People want to travel. That's so good for the economy. People are just spending money, which is good, and people have money. As you said, the consumer balance the balance sheets are healthy, so that's good. This is all good. So I think people are just looking at this and kind of worrying about the way out there, which is in my opinion, it's too early to predict what goes on in 2023, 2024. You kind of got to take it by quarter and then assess your risk accordingly. Let me see where I'm at here. Yeah, so my approach is obviously the banks correlate with obviously a lending company or, like a credit card company and a lending company like PayPal. So if the revenue's down on banks year over year, chances are the revenue might be a little down year over year with PayPal. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it, but I think all this is so priced in. So when PayPal does do its earnings this year or Q1 of 2022, they lowered their comps so much for this year. Even if they come in, because it's all priced in, if they even beat the littlest bit or come in as expected, I think this stock's going to go up from 105. It might go back to 115, 120 if they do a massive beat, which I'm not saying they will, but if they did, it might be like 125, 130. So a buying opportunity at 105.20, it's a great buy. People are just kind of sympathy selling because of what the banks just came out with. The Dow yesterday finished green at 1% even. S&P finished at 1.11%. NASDAQ finished at 2.03%. And then my portfolio, which I just kind of like doing, it finished at 1.70. So I beat the S&P and beat the Dow. I did not beat the NASDAQ. So that's just something interesting. Just, I want to keep it under around 10 minutes, but I'll just roll through my portfolio real quick to let you know what had really good gains today. Carnival Cruise, go figure, because what the bank said and consumer spending and the CPI and all that stuff, all the spending for travel's up. Carnival was up 5.3% today. That's great. Coinbase had a nice bounce back. It was under 150 at one point. It's up 3.4%. What else had a really good day? Dropbox, I've been in that stock forever since 2019. That was up 4%. It's great. Robinhood. So this is an interesting play. I haven't really talked about it much. It's not a long-term play. I usually do one a year where it's kind of like a swing trade. That was up 4%. I'll maybe make a video about that later when I have time. What else? What else is up big? Tesla was up 3.6%. That stock's been a crazy stock the past. For how big that stock is, it's super volatile. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really all the big movers. I had one red stock in my portfolio, and no, I lied, two. No, one. PayPal. That was the only one down today, and that's the only one I bought. So it's kind of funny how that works when you think of it that way. That was my only stock that was red today, and that's the stock I bought. So it's kind of how I do it. As a long-term investor, I really like the stock. You know, they're super cash heavy too. So like, even if the rates go up crazy, they'll make it through. They won't have to rely on banks and interest rates to keep growing. So that's all I got, guys. Till tomorrow. If you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe. And till tomorrow, peace.